What's going on, everyone? Aaron here, Clean Cuts Lawn Care. Pretty much we're in a slow time right now. We had a snow event December 23rd, and how we do our snow removal collections is whatever happens during the month of December will be collected between like January 2nd or 3rd. Whatever we do in January will be collected around February 2nd or 3rd. And it's just all the services around one bill for that month. Basically, I said before, we still have a few customers who, of course, are elderly customers who, they have been paying bills by check ever since there was checks, right? And though we don't like accepting checks, you're going to have a few that's just what it is. The one thing we no longer allow is for people to mail us a check, because this past mowing season we had 2 checks not show up. The people actually did show us a returned envelope for whatever reason. So we believed that they mailed the check. One of which was delivered to the window business across the street from us. And they actually contacted the lady to let her know her check was there. So we tell them, if you're going to write a check, we'll pick it up. So I did have to go around and collect a few checks for this last snow event. The weather was nice. It was sunny, probably in the 40s, 50s. And I was at a home collecting a check, and I had seen someone walking house to house. I knew this person was doing flyers. And you have to excuse me, I'm sick. I have bronchitis. I just found out yesterday it was bronchitis. I'm on medicine now. So as I'm collecting the check, the gentleman walks up and he goes, "Excuse me, I'm sorry to interrupt you. I just wanted to hand you a flyer." He gives the flyer to the homeowner. She looks at it and she said, "Oh, no thank you, honey. This is my lawn care provider right here." So I said, "Oh, you're a lawn care guy." And he goes, "Yeah, I'm sorry." I go, No, you're fine. You're fine." I said, "Can I have one of your flyers?" So he gave me one. I finished my interactions with the customer. I looked at his flyer. He was maybe 12 or 15 houses up, and I ended up going down the street, meeting up with him. Man, I wish I had my camera on me. I could have asked him, "Can I film this?" Because it was so interesting. So he was my age, a few years older than me. I asked, he's just getting into lawn care. This coming season will be his first season, and he explained to me how he got into it, or wants to get into it. When he graduated high school, his dad got him a job with a real estate company that he worked for. So he started in at the ground floor. He's been there 20 years. This was his 20th year there, and he is now running the company. Okay, there's no one between him and the owner of this big company. They had an office downtown. He said a couple months ago, a real estate agent showed up at the office with people who were looking to buy this office, the building. So he called the owner of the company and asked, "What's going on? This real estate agent." And he goes, "Oh, nothing. You're fine. Don't worry about it. I'll be in town on Monday. I'm flying in, and I'll tell you kind of what we're doing." He goes, "Okay." The owner flies in, comes into the office on Monday, and basically tells everyone but him, "You no longer have a job. We are outsourcing everything that happens in this office to a management and investment firm." So, that's it. Boom. They had 1 week of their job left, basically. They told him that they needed him to now go to this firm for a month, maybe 2 months, and teach them everything they needed to know about everything that he does, and that the other people do as well, and get them familiar with all of the properties that they own. Basically, there's managers on the property, and they all report to him, and they do the overall management, and he also looked for properties to invest in for the business. And he said, "Well, what happens after this 1 to 2 months?" "Nothing. That's it. You will no longer have a job." So he refused to travel. He was fired. And he said he has now been denied 2 times of his unemployment because they basically wrote it up as that he refused to do his work. And he's fighting for unemployment. So I said, well, you know, when we started our business, we started it off of Fliers. We knew we were going to transition over to Google My Business, but I've always said this about Google, and I still say it. Don't start a Google My Business for 1 to 2 months of your business. Wait until you have quality pictures of your work and different kinds of work, not just mowing. Make sure you have a little landscaping, some hedge trimming, a variety of things to start your, your post and your pictures with. Vicky manages all that. I don't really know much about it, but I did know I wanted to wait until we had proof of work. Also, I say get a month or 2 into your business, because what about if you start a Google My Business and within a month you hate it or you don't make it? What happens if you just fail within that small time frame, and now your information and phone number and everything is out there on Google? Yeah, you can delete it, but so I said, are you open to any suggestions? And he said, absolutely. Anything you can tell me will be much appreciated. So, excuse me. So, I said, okay, well, right now, and so everything I told him goes for anyone interested in starting a lawn care business and wants to know about Fliers. I said, so right now it's in January. Okay, I said, I asked him if he's doing snow removal. He said he is going to, but he cannot do it this year. I said, okay. I said, don't put out any more Fliers right now. I said, I would start doing, okay, and here's why I explained to him not to do Fliers now. We're in winter. Okay, even if you put a flyer on someone's door who needs lawn care, and they see this flyer, oh, here's a lawn care company, and they service this area because they gave us a flyer. It's in January. What are they going to do with that flyer between January and late April? They're probably not going to hang it on the fridge. They're going to put it somewhere where they think they'll remember. They won't remember. And they're not going to remember your name on the flyer to try to look you up. So, timing of hanging these flyers are key. You don't want a big gap in between the time of hanging the flyer and the time they're going to call. You want it to go flyer on the door, phone call that day or the next day. So I said, hold off on these flyers until mid-March, late March, possibly even early April. And I explained to him all those reasons why. So then I told him, as you get these calls from these flyers, people are going to want estimates right away. So you hang these flyers in this area, and then let's just say you get 10 calls from this neighborhood. Now you're driving back to 10 of these houses. I said there's 2 different ways you can do this. You can either print out flyers on, say, 4 different color papers, or you can print them out on white paper, but carry 4 different color markers on you. And now the prices will change depending on what area you're in, but we're in my area, so I already know. Let's say you're going to go with prices from 35, 40, 45, and 50, those are our price ranges here right in our neighborhood. I said, so for $35, put a color check mark on the top right corner of the flyer, say pink. And then for 40, put a black check at the top right corner. 45, a green. 50, a red check mark. Or you can do it with different color flyers, right? This flyer is this. I said, then when people call you for an estimate, you can say, okay, at the top right corner of your flyer, what color check mark do you have? Okay, your yard is $40. And you don't even have to come back and do the estimate. So basically, as you're walking up to a property, take a look at their front yard. Try to get a good look at the backyard. What kind of trimming needs to be done? And that way you have a feel of what that price is going to be. Put that color check mark or that color paper, and the estimate is already done. That way, as soon as that phone call comes in and they need a lawn care company, you don't have to say, okay, yeah, I'll see you in a couple hours when I come do the estimate. You can close that sale right there on the phone, get them added to your list, and as soon as the mowing is ready, which, you know, say it could be that week, you're already mowing, boom, you have income coming in from that flyer. Also, I told him something that I do is what I did when we were doing flyers. I might do flyers this year, and I'm going to change my flyer to include what kind of landscaping we do, because we're trying to ramp up our landscaping. So that way, we're not only putting out flyers for mowing, which it will have our mowing package on there, but it'll also have landscaping services on there. Now, can you give a price for landscaping every flyer? No, because you don't know what they want or anything like that, but you still can for the mowing. But you can put multi-services on your flyer. I also told them, as you're going down the road, something I do, if their edging looks like a company did it, don't even stop at that house. You're more than likely just wasting a flyer. More than likely, you're just wasting a flyer on this house or the time it takes to stop at the house, if you don't consider the flyer a waste in itself. If the edging is done really nice, chances are that they have a company, or the person takes a lot of pride in their yard and they're not going to hire you anyway. And he was kind of blown away by it. He said, man, I never thought to look at the edging to see if someone does it or if the homeowner is just very particular about doing it themselves and probably wouldn't hire anyone. So there's a good tip for anyone. Also, everyone asks about, do you go to a print shop and get door hangers? You can. In the end, they're going to be pretty expensive per flyer, and then your customer acquisition cost is going to be pretty high. Now, if you're going into like a expensive subdivision where they have $500,000, $1 million houses, yeah, do not walk in there with a printed out flyer from your computer and printer. It's probably going to be a waste of your time, more than likely. Now, our neighborhood, there's people just like us, right? Blue collar, not rich, hardworking people. So a traditional flyer is more than fine. It's printed, it looks nice, but it's just a flyer printed on computer paper. I also told them, when you're hanging your flyers, make sure you hang them somewhere secure. You don't want to have your flyer blown away and be on someone's porch or front yard. That's going to make someone mad. A good tip is to go buy a big bag of them little rubber bands. Now, some houses will have screen doors that are completely like a U. You just roll it up, put it in there. It's not going anywhere. I did tell them I try to not open anyone's screen doors. You never know if there's an elderly person in the home who lives there alone. You open their screen door, they think someone's trying to break in. That could be a problem. And I told them if there is absolutely nowhere to securely leave a flyer or rubber band a flyer, leave that house alone. Just because where are you going to put it? You don't want to be trying to mess with someone's door or anything of that's theirs and cause a problem. So I would, if they have a handle that you can slide it into and it's secure, great. If not, rubber band it to something. If not, keep it moving. He asked, what about the no soliciting signs? And that's a good question. So when we first started doing flyers, I contacted our local police station. I asked them. They said the law says if there is a no soliciting sign, you can still hang flyers. They said you are absolutely not to knock at the door, ring a bell, or if you see a resident of the home, you are not allowed to engage in any sort of sales type conversation. but you still are allowed to leave a flyer. Now me, if I see a very clear no soliciting sign, I just go. I don't even stop. But that's what I was told from the police station, that soliciting is knocking, ringing, talking. I just keep going. I don't want to get into a situation where, oh, I have this sign, the guy's on my street, he didn't look at, it's not worth it from a house you're probably not going to get anyway. Are flyers worth it? They are. That's how we started our business that first year. I don't remember exactly how many customers we got just off of flyers, but it was enough to get started every week. We had a route to do every weekend from the flyers. Once we got enough good pictures, people that we could send reviews to, then we started the Google My Business, and we were able to build from that. But initially it was from flyers. I have went door to door with business cards, and I'll tell you right now, I did not get one phone call. And we have nice professional business cards. I did not get one single phone call from leaving a business card at someone's house, as opposed to all the calls we did get from leaving flyers. So I'd say if you're going door to door, I would do the flyers as opposed to a business card. And I believe it's more personable, however you say it. You printed this flyer, you gave all this information, you walked it to their home, you folded it up, you put it somewhere, you rubber band it somewhere. I think it gives more of a presentation of you being in that neighborhood than just a business card will. And I do believe that's the reason why we didn't get any calls from the cards as opposed to the flyers. Google My Business, once you transition over and you start advertising on there, I say every time you get a customer, even if you already left flyers at this neighbor and that neighbor and that neighbor, because that's how you got this customer, after you've been servicing them for a month, go hit them with another flyer, business card, whatever, just to let them know you are still in the neighborhood. And then now this is the point where you get a Google My Business. You're posting pictures, you're getting reviews. Maybe you're putting promotional things on there, or a deal, or like a discount. I definitely wouldn't start right off the bat from the day go with a Google My Business. I don't think it's the right thing to do. I think at that point, I think you're kind of false advertising, just being real, because where are you getting the pictures from? You're putting yourself out as this professional company with an online presence when you're not yet. And that's why we waited until we could really validate ourselves. So do flyers work? They do. Is it going to be a huge return in your time? No. But I think a nice, professional, crisp flyer will get you some business, and it will get you going. So I do have this gentleman's information. I asked him if I could give him a call once the season is underway, maybe a little bit into the season, and kind of see how things are going for him. Absolutely. Said he wants to hear from us. I gave him, told him what our channel was. I know he wants to check it out, so I do wish you the best of luck. Not going to put his information out on here, but yeah, I told him I'm going to be making a video of the same thing I told him, and I'm going to put that same information into a video. He said he's going to check it out, so obviously you know who you are. I wish you the best of luck in your upcoming season, and that's it. All right, if you like the video, hit like, subscribe to the channel, leave a comment down below. Let me know everything I'm doing wrong, and keep them edges clean, boys. I'm out.